Artyc, we're on a mission to decarbonize the cold chain. But what if I told you today we were going to talk about toast? Not this kind, but this. Some of you may have heard a conversation like this before. Did you see the temp log from last night? We're sitting at 12 degrees C. Wait, 12? As in 12 needs to be between 2 and 8/12? Yep. So basically, the whole batch is toast if we don't do something now. That's because the temperature-sensitive supply chain is the invisible backbone that's responsible for how we transport everything from plasma to peptides. 76% of pharmaceuticals require the cold chain, and of those, 20% experience temperature deviations. Last year, the industry lost $35 billion in product, and it contributed 4% to global emissions. And that's because the cold chain is broken. Right now, drug is manufactured and shipped to cold warehouses all over the world. It's then rebatched into smaller packages and shipped to clinical sites, labs, hospitals, and sometimes directly to the patient. And all along the way, there are problems. Dry ice shortages, improper preconditioning means that products never even reach the right temperature. Shipping delays and limited on-site means that sometimes clinical sites don't even get the product, and coordinating with a patient can be difficult. Introducing Artyc. Artyc is a first-of-its-kind, on-demand cold chain platform for middle-mile and last-mile logistics. We're based on 3 layers. The first layer are our reusable shippers. That's our proprietary battery-powered cooling to maintain precise temperatures. And embedded in our shippers is a suite of sensors that provides real-time data, supply chain analytics, chain of custody, and more. And these come together to create the third layer, which allows anyone to ship anything, set a temperature, and just press go. To date, we've launched 2 products, the Medsto Micro for microsampling and the Medsto 4L for small batch clinical. We've launched with global pharma, with a large central lab and sites across the US. So far, customers have found our product to be more reliable, higher quality, lower emissions, and cheaper than the status quo. And we've outperformed the competition. On the slide behind me, you'll see the blue line shows the Medsto Micro, which shows 5 degrees C for 84 hours. Meanwhile, the passive shipper froze the sample at 18 hours and went out of spec at 46 hours. And at Artyc, we're thinking about everyone across the value chain. For patients, we allow them to take more tests in the comfort of their home by allowing more tests to happen in a decentralized setting. We also prevent fewer redraws from poor spoilage and poor temperature control. For our clinicians out there, we provide you better chain of custody tracking, and we ensure the lab knows which samples to process. And for everyone, we're reducing waste. There's no single-use packaging, no sensors, no different boxes for frozen and controlled room temp, and no preconditioning. Instead, it's just one box. So help join Artyc in helping people, helping clinicians, helping the planet, and most of all, let's prevent burnt toast. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
Wondering about your global footprint. I'm going to give you a compound question, sorry, while I have a mic. A global footprint, and also if you've gotten feedback from sites and patients about using the device.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to answer in 2 parts, if that's okay. So first on kind of the customer and user engagement, we've done a lot of focus groups with patients, particularly on our first product for microsampling, to ensure it's something that anyone can use if you, from pediatrics to folks with different mobility. So very much include patients in the design. And then we work directly with sites because ultimately sites need to be willing to implement this. Even if a sponsor says they're interested, it's important that we have buy-in across the board. In terms of global reach, we're currently in the US and Europe, but are looking to expand globally.
One thing we hear from patients a lot is uncertainty of waiting, right? Waiting for a sample pickup. So you mentioned you have tracking. So have you looked at kind of looking at the supply chain of like, hey, it's coming now, or this is when your pickup is? And also from a pharma side, I'm interested, of course, I want to know where my sample is. So have you explored that angle?
Yes, I wish I could show you all the data platform. We have live event notifications. So exactly, it's event notifications on delivery, on excursion, or kind of any temperature changes, on GPS, so on location, and even on vibration. So we're working on correlating with hemolysis data and some other work around sample integrity, specifically in that direct-to-patient model.
Thanks very much. Let's give a round of applause.